Hello, everybody. Welcome to the OCRP iRacing League at Watkins, Glen. Road course racing tonight, and what a night it will be. Who is going to be able to pull it off? We know Matt Rucci's in the lead in points. Can he hang on and make it exactly that? That is the question. So, before we start, we do have a couple things that we need to address, and that is, I don't mean address, but address. And that is what is going on in the league. Remember, after Indianapolis, we had a little bit of a on-track kind of kerfuffle, and then an after-race kind of disagreement between some drivers. So some things have happened here before we get here live to Watkins Glen, and that is Brandon Osborne, the driver of the 80 car, has been suspended indefinitely in the league. Things detrimental to the league, actually. And Brandon Buggs has been parked for unsportsmanlike conduct. So both drivers will not be appearing here on the track tonight. Sorry to hear it, but I can tell you that Mr. Brandon Buggs will be joining us in the booth as a third tonight, since he is indeed parked. And there's no biased things happening here. He was very, very on board with his punishment, and he understands where he was coming from. So we talked to those drivers. We saw Brandon Osborne coming out on Twitter talking about, hey, I was suspended for these reasons. There were some people that didn't really understand what was going on. It has to do a lot with everything that's going on behind the scenes. So we're trying to keep you up to date on what's actually going on. Brandon Buggs being a driver that was parked tonight at a track we knew he would probably win at, one of his best tracks ever. And it goes to show that, having unsportsmanlike conduct, being upset, addressing another driver something that happened on the track, it's just something that the league does not tolerate. They want to keep a positive vibe going forward in the race schedule. So he will be parked tonight, just to let you guys know. That is what's going on. We'll be joined by the one, the only Mr. Civ Ryan, and also Brandon Buggs here shortly, getting things together. So we have a lot happening here tonight. Got to thank our wonderful sponsors, Next Level Racing, Thrustmaster, and FRN. What is FRN? Well, let's talk about them. Flat Out Racing Network is a fantastic group of guys that make all of the graphics you see here tonight. Sorry about that. All the graphics you see here tonight, and if you want this for your own league, you can hit them up. They'll get you all situated with that. A lot of people here tonight hanging out, and we've talked about Big Beef being something, in jest, and Big Beef talking about something that is real. These things that we're talking about are absolutely real, so we will move on from it all. Both drivers are fine. They have talked. Things are on a good page as far as things moving forward. So there's nothing to dwell about other than, the actual implications there are on the championship. And it's Matt Rucci's to lose tonight. So we have a lot of different drivers we're going to be checking out here as the time goes on. Seeing who's the fastest? Well, good question. iRacing's doing its thing where it likes to lag me out for some weird reason. Stefan Benende, a driver we've seen race after race, eventually moving up that ladder. And look at that, fastest tonight, above Rucci. Interesting. Dylan Macedo, another driver we've seen great things out of, an incredible driver. Can he get it done here at Watkins Glen? Well, we're going to find that out here soon enough. And we're waiting on Civ Ryan, but we got Mr. Brandon Buggs moving up here into the booth. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
You're here so you don't get fined. There you go. Well, so we have Stefan Benende, and that's the driver you've driven around quite a bit this season. Tell me a little bit about what you would expect out of the 73 car, and also that 28 Rucci. Talk about a guy who has figured out the next-gen car.
Yeah, I think Stefan is definitely going to be a lot of competition in this race. He's very fast on road courses. He always puts down a really quick time. The biggest thing that I noticed with him is he tends to get a little bit sketchy on older tires. So he doesn't really run out his practices very long to kind of see how the tires feel. He starts to kind of fall off after a couple laps. So I think he's going to be competition for the first half of the race, but I'm just wondering about that second half. And Rucci, I'm still waiting for a DNA sample because I still believe that he's a robot.
And there goes Eric O'Neill around in the background. But talk about, oh, there's Eric O'Neill. No, that wasn't Eric O'Neill. It was somebody else. There's a lot of different paint schemes here tonight. We're going to try to get a hold of what's actually going on. But yeah, we can't talk anymore about the 28 car, Matt Rucci. I mean, he was so strong out of the gate. Has it been basically putting in the homework to try to figure out what he's doing?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, he's figured something out that I think a lot of us have not figured out yet, and there's something to learn from him. And what that is yet, I still don't know myself personally. But he's just so consistent every single lap that he doesn't make mistakes, and that's the thing that a lot of drivers look for on making passes, is waiting for someone's mistake, and he doesn't make any. So he's very difficult to get around.
Well, we haven't seen we saw what he could do at Sonoma, which was fantastic, but Martinsville's a very different beast, and I know it's one of your favorite tracks. Can you talk to us a little bit about what we can expect as far as racing goes? It's a lot flatter of a track than Sonoma, not so many up and down hills you have to battle besides the S's. But what makes Watkins Glen so unique?
For me, I think it flows really well. It has a nice flow to it. Every turn is just, you got to approach it a little bit differently, but it still allows you to be fast and you still feel fast. So I think there's going to be some good racing in the beginning. I'm just concerned about what happens after the field gets gapped out, because that's eventually going to happen. We don't have any full field cautions, so it's just going to be a deal of if you get loose, you get loose, and you see if you can claw your way back up there. But I think it's going to be interesting to see who can hang on and who can be consistent.
Absolutely. We're moving into the qualifying round. Remember, it's going to be 10 minutes total, 5 minutes for qualify, 5 minutes for the driver's meeting, and you don't need another driver's meeting, that's for sure. But let's talk about Favignano. You know, a driver that got that win early on in the season's been continuously moving up the ladder as well. Really, really, really consistent finishes. And he finds himself not the fastest here tonight, but second in points. What do you think of Favignano tonight?
I think he's going to be a contender for sure. I think he's definitely got a top 5 car, if anything, maybe a top 3. I mean, he's pretty quick, but I know he's had some issues with some road courses. I think he struggled a bit at Sonoma, and I've been watching him a little bit in this practice, and he's quick, but he definitely has some issues with that car.
There you have it right there, and we will be watching for that driver, watching the 43 of Joel Brown get around here. I'm going to go ahead and open up my screen so you can actually see what we're seeing here on the broadcast. So we're seeing the same thing. I have to make sure I'm actually doing what I should be doing correctly, and that was something I wasn't doing. So now you can actually see what I'm seeing. So the 43 of Joel Brown out there on the track right now. And we've talked nothing but positive about Joel Brown. His last race at Indianapolis, kind of a disaster for the driver. He was, he had a lot of promise in the beginning, and he said, "Hey guys, sorry, I really screwed up." He apologized to all the guys that he got into that night. He was just, being a little more aggressive than maybe he should have been. But right now, trying to turn a fast lap. We're keeping an eye on Favignano. He's out on the track right now in the S's as well. With iRacing, you're able to jump between the two drivers. They might be in the same place of the track, but as far as qualifying goes, they're in separate rooms or lobbies or whatever you want to call it, different game sessions. So they could be on the same part of the track. They will not see each other. So here's Favignano in the 67, trying to get through the bus stop here. Bugs, what is the most difficult part about this next-gen car at the bus stop?
The bus stop is really interesting because for me personally, I think the bus stop is one of my fastest corners, and I think a lot of people struggle. You got to really just trust that the car is going to do what you need it to do in that corner, and without the trust in the car, you're not going to be able to attack it as much as you need to. So I think it's just the biggest thing is having a feeling for that car and knowing what it's going to do in that corner, and then just trusting that it's going to do it. I think that's honestly the biggest thing.
And we're on board with Favignano right now. He's going to complete that second lap. And, you've driven this car a lot, and we know we've seen the current car being tested at Bowman Gray and at certain different tracks that they have been doing. But we know this, that we can tell you, is that this car is not performing exactly how the real one does. And if anything, Dale Jr. recently put out a post about how this car does everything that the current stock car doesn't do. I think a lot of people read into it incorrectly, and they think that, oh, this thing is the holy grail. I think it's more of the fact that, I mean, it can outperform what the real car does. It has a sequential, transmission in it. It has its independent rear suspension. What makes this car so different than the last gen car you've driven in iRacing?
Well, it does handle a lot differently. It in some ways at Sonoma was a good example. Is I did not have a feeling for that car at that track. There was something about, I don't know if it was the setup or something, but it just did not feel as good as I thought it should. But at Watkins, when I've used it before, it feels really good. And I don't know if it's that independent rear suspension or what they've just changed up on these cars, but I think it's a big improvement. But I do still think that the current model that we're using right now is just quite not what it really is going to end up being in the future.
And one of those biggest things is talking about brakes, and Dale Jr. talked about it, and a lot of different drivers like Joey Logano and those guys that did and Larson and those guys that are, championship contenders this year have driven the next gen car and talked about the brakes and how those 18-inch disc wheels really make a huge difference when it comes to braking. But you guys aren't really seeing that in this car, are you?
No, not necessarily. It honestly does still feel like the previous gen car when it comes to braking. You would think that it would really handle those brakes better, but it just doesn't. It's very resemblant to the previous gen.
And Alex Reno completing that second lap right there. And people have been like, hey, Alex needs to get a new picture. I think a lot of guys do. What was your idea behind what you wanted to have on your profile picture? Because we've all seen it.
So in the submission form of submitting your driver photo, they used a reference photo. And I was looking at it and I thought that would just be really funny if I just put my head on that body, which I did. So,
and Ryan was the one that actually did the Photoshop job on it.
So I put my head on the body, and then Ryan helped color it so it didn't look all discolored from the suit to the face and all that.
No, it looks actually it turned out really good, actually.
Yeah, it really did. And I was like, it was just for a meme, and it looked funny.
Well, nothing can be said more than positive about the 59 of Steinhoff. Now, some things have changed. We had a separation and Steinhoff's not involved in this, it just makes me remember it. But so after they had a recent drivers meeting where everybody got on the same page, especially after everything that happened in Indianapolis. You don't have to comment about that. But moving on, we had the drivers meeting, and everybody's moving from the Monday Night League. They're now eligible to race in the Thursday Night League. And then anybody who's racing in Thursdays, and we talked about the Monday Night League here that Wes Graham puts on and company, and they do a fantastic job with their broadcast, but we're no longer making it to where it's so separated. All those drivers we've seen from the Monday Night League are now eligible for the Thursday night, if that makes sense. And what's a little bit of, in your opinion, what is the brains behind making that decision?
I'm not really sure. I think it's there wasn't really that many people that were locked down to just being Monday, and we figured why not just allow everybody to race in the same thing. It was also getting to the point where a lot of those people were using Mondays as like a full race practice for Thursdays, so a lot of those guys got pretty fast by running the Monday and Thursday league. So in my opinion, it's kind of nice.
I thought it was a really good idea because, well, one, we were both on the same page of like everybody should be all grouped together, let the growing pains happen naturally. But I think that the Monday Night League has actually made better racers out of a lot of those drivers, and they are kind of just getting to the point where it's like, hey, I deserve to be on the track any more than anybody here. So it's good to see that. We're gonna have a fuller field here tonight, and I haven't seen. I know a lot of people are gonna ask if Dave Sermon has shown up on the track. He has not unloaded yet. I don't know if he's making it. Do you know anything about that?
I do not see him. I have not heard from him. I don't know if I saw his truck pull in to the track, so I don't know if he's making it to this one. But I do see the Spells brothers.
Yes, the Spells brothers
making a
both
return.
Here. Yes.
Yep, both of them. So it's nice to see them back on Thursdays.
Fantastic. Yeah, those are drivers that we've seen before that moved over to the Monday Night League because of their speed. Basically, it was, more or less You know, it's easy to throw a black flag out there and say, hey, you're not making minimum speed. You're getting involved in a lot of wrecks in the back. Let's figure it out. Let's make racecraft better. Sorry, that was like three different burps in between there. But like three different drivers that, you know, I think that they're ready for the Thursday night. I don't think it's any different. I think it's just a matter of, especially here at Watkins Glen, it's either you put in the time to practice or you didn't.
Yes. Yeah. And I think with the Monday League, I think it was, let's see if we can try to pull some people out and lighten this field up a bit and see if that changes the racing at all. But I think we've realized that there's not really that much that, you know, we're really changing by removing these people. So it just makes more sense to have everybody else out here.
Well, I am watching right here, right now, the fastest driver on the track currently with a minute to go. They're in the driver's meeting right now. Who's looking like they're going to be the pole. It's going to be the 73 of Benende. Talk about a guy who figured out the track, has figured out the car, and is going to rise to the occasion. And we know it only takes the opening 2 laps before you can start to pull away here at Watkins Glen. And once you walk away with that, it comes down to pit strategy. Good God. Pit strategy. And you've done this race before. I know I've done an endurance race with you here before. It comes down to making that decision to come down to pit road. When do you think these guys are going to do it?
Well, you know, we have 40 laps here. I would say tires on this track are going to last you probably about somewhere a little over 10, maybe 10, 12 laps. And then you're going to start to kind of really notice them. I think a lot of drivers are going to come in maybe a little bit early between, you know, 15, 17 laps. I think personally for me, I would just try to shoot dead center right at 20, or maybe push it a little bit on the first set, 25, really kind of depending on who's around you and where you're at on the track.
And how difficult is it to make that decision to come down to pit road? Because on a road course like Watkins Glen, you can stay out and you can make up so much time on the guy behind you. But what do you think it takes? Like 2 or 3 laps before you're just like, hey, it's not worth it anymore. My tires are so old. I'm actually losing time compared to the leader that's on pit road.
I think the biggest deciding factor for a lot of drivers is as soon as you get that one corner where you almost lose it and you almost throw away that position you're trying to keep while extending your run, I think that is the lap where a lot of drivers go, you know what, I'm pitting this lap and getting some fresh rubber and keeping this position.
Well, there you have it. Stefan Benende on the pole right now. One of those drivers we didn't see, you know, getting a pole position in the last few races. Actually, I think this is his first pole of the season, actually. He's got a lot of speed tonight here, and a road course is one of those things where we've talked about this in the past about how, you know, oval racing's more about the car you're in, your drivability, and how you manage racecraft. This track, however, is all about you versus the actual track. That's just road course racing in itself.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I like about road course racing is it's not so insanely, you can make a mistake and you can recover from that within the same lap. It's not like oval where everything is so precise.
Absolutely.
I want to point out too, real quick, Charles Gray qualified P3 and was just given an EOL to the back of the pack. So I'm not really sure what's going on there.
Uh-oh. Something going on with Charles Gray. I'm going to get you your starting grid here. I know that I'm going to tell you what's going on here tonight. You are on the Marty Party 150 OCRP iRacing League here at Watkins Glen tonight. But moving on from that, I am Jeff Favignano. We have Civ Ryan and Bugs here tonight in the actual booth with us. And I know Mr. CR himself just made it up here. I'm going to get through the starting grid, Ryan, then we'll get to you in just a second. But let's start off. Okay, not a problem. Let's reset that. Let's talk about row 1. Stefan Benende on the pole tonight. The Facebook dad, as Ryan likes to call him. And outside of that is Matt Rucci, your leader in the points. Moving on to row 2, Charles Gray. Talk about that third spot. What a great run by him. And Dylan Macedo, we've seen a lot out of that driver. What can he get done here at Watkins Glen tonight? Row 3, Wes Graham. A lot of favorites for the 88 car. And he talked about earlier in the race, hey, if I can get out front, if I can sniff that front out, I'm going to drive away from them. So we'll be excited to see what the 88 can do. And Leonard Fodorero, one of the early winners of the season, he is here in second place of standings as far as points go. He needs a good points night tonight, starting They're in the 4th position. Behind them, row 4, Ryan Steinhoff, the 59, the Steinhoff 59er right there. Happy birthday to Ryan Steinhoff. Everybody put that in chat if you're watching here live on twitch.tv/jfavignano. Ryan Steinhoff, having a good time, and he's here tonight. Behind them, Joel Brown and Clint Spells. We got Nick Sargent, Chris Essery, Aaron Beaver, Robert Webb, Ryan Potter, Jason Lance, Stephen Shepard, and Alex Reno, Rick Evans, Scott Markman, Keller, Hilton, Spells, Cleveland, Eric O'Neill. We're green flag racing.
Poor time management there by Jeff Favignano, your broadcaster, unable to get off the.
I couldn't do it. I tried.
That looks exciting though. Look at them all headed off the track. Also, hi, Bugs. You can leave now. Thanks for that. Thanks for covering. We can just go. Did we talk about why Bugs is up here? No.
Yes. We covered all of that stuff. Yes. All the drama's been talked about.
Okay.
Look at Benende out front of Rucci right now, holding him off. Here we come down into the bus stop.
So far, so clean though, Jeff. I don't see any yellow flags out. Nobody's off the track, and Facebook Dad is leading the race. Bugs, what do you think? How did that start go?
The start went pretty good. I'm watching the back mid pack, and everyone's going good. We have no cars off track yet, so it's doing good back here.
All right, good to hear. Now, the other person I want to talk about while the race has started, did you check out Charles Gray's livery for tonight?
I have seen Charles Gray's livery.
It's great. So Charles
really
Gray's been involved in a lot of shit the past, excuse my language, the past few weeks. I told him to put a high vis vest on, and he did.
He did. He very much
and I think on the back it says, "Can you see me now?" which is great. So he's wearing that high vis vest, so everyone should be able to see Charles out there.
And we're trying to find out why that driver is all the way in the back. He actually had an EOL once the race began, so maybe something happened during qualifying, completing lap 2. Stefan Benende out front. Rucci just can't get to him yet.
But I will say, Gray is working from the back of the pack. Started all the way in the back, P27, already up to P22 after that first lap. So he's on the move.
And we're on board with Matt Rucci right now, trying to chase down Benende. But man, Benende showed up today, fastest in practice, took the pole away. This could be the race to lose from, as far as Rucci goes. This could be his race to lose if he can't find his way around there. Another driver we were talking about earlier is indeed Wes Graham in the 3rd spot. He said, hey, all I need is some clean air. All I need to do is get out front and I can make something happen. But now he's under fire from the 4th position of the 59 of Steinhoff.
Jeff, just a little update for you. We did have a driver go off track there for the 70 of Rick Evans, and he'll fall all the way back to the end of the pack there as he went off track. So just a little update from the back of the field. Okay, so Rick Evans had a little bit of an issue there, and he's going to try to gather the car up. But what can we say about Ryan Steinhoff other than it's his birthday, and we know what what's your over and under for birthdays here, because we've seen nothing but great things out of guys that have had birthdays and had a race. But look at Steinhoff, man. He's in 4th.
He's doing good.
I think it's safe to say that almost everybody on the track has had a birthday. So we have definitely seen some good things from people that have had birthdays here, Jeff.
But you want to talk about a driver that's like kind of just climbed so many mountains this season. He's been in the middle of the pack. He's been caught up in a lot of wrecks. But Steinhoff has actually shown that his racecraft is actually there. And he's in front of Macedo.
Oh, Joel Brown off in the bus stop. I think he was running up there in, looks like P7, I believe, out wide in the bus stop, all the way back to the back of the pack for Joel Brown.
And that's how crucial that bus stop is, that braking zone, and how hard it is to get that car slowed up. And if you get those left sides in a lot of cars sideways here. Spells. Got another driver, Eric O'Neill, involved. And he's having a couple blinks there, but a lot of damage to the front of that car. That's Eric O'Neill, started 25th right now. He's in the 25th position. He hasn't changed anything, but a lot of damage. He's going to come down pit road and going to have to get that car fixed with the fast repair.
Oh, Reno wide on corner 1.
I see a lot of guys really slow here, trying to keep up with it.
We got some drivers falling off here after a couple laps, it looks like.
And this is a kind of race that's not a full course caution. So they throw that caution flag. It means for that sector, And we're seeing exactly that. You know, you have guys back there in 17th, 18th position. They lose that corner. They go into the grass. They spin. They're not going to call a full course caution. So it's really unfortunate because a lot of guys start to slip even further behind because of that reason.
Yeah,
Yep,
Ryan Potter just went off in the bus stop there too. I think that's not going to be uncommon there. That's a pretty common area for drivers to run a little hot into off that straight.
That's the biggest issue with road racing with no cautions is it takes one mistake, one over braking, sliding the car and off track, and you've thrown away a lot of your race. So
and he goes around. Potter does. Into the tires there, and he's going to have to back the car up and get going forward again, losing a lot of spots off of that, unfortunately. But out front, look at Matt Rucci. He's having his hands full there from Wes Graham, trying to put a little bit of pressure on him, but it's kind of 1, 2, 3, 4 as far as it goes back all the way to Macedo. But here comes Spadorero and Steinhoff into the grass. But look at Spadorero, the man that we were talking about in second position. Needs a really good run here tonight. Could he get it done? I think he can. He's playing his cards safe right now.
Yeah, new experience for a lot of these drivers. You got a lot of some of these boys, I'm pretty sure, that exclusively do oval racing.
Going around in front of P3. Barely avoided that wreck.
Oh my God. Hey, did we talk about the fact that Monday guys are here as well?
Yes, we did indeed.
Okay.
And it's good to see exactly that, because look at some of these Monday guys. They're up there in the mix towards the middle of the pack.
I love it. Proving that they should have been here all along. That's good. Honestly, I think that Monday League was awesome. Helped develop some drivers and get their confidence up.
And for those...
now they're in with everybody, and it's that's awesome. Good to see that they're up there.
No, absolutely. Look at Stefan Benene absolutely running away from Rucci. We did not expect to see this, but I've been talking about this for the last 4 races. Benende has been fast every time he gets there. He just needed a track that he really prevails at, and he showed everyone here tonight in practice that, hey, I've got the car, I've got the, not just the car because it's a fixed setup, it does not matter about that, but he's saying, hey, I've got the skill that I can hold off Rucci. Do you believe me? I think I believe in the 73 tonight.
I do too. He's showing a lot of speed. He has a lot of pace, but like I said, I'm concerned about his long run times. I mean, when those tires start to wear, we're only 6 going on to 7 laps right now, so we still got a lot more racing to go. And I think once those tires start to wear on his car, we're going to really see about the times with Rucci, because we don't know about Rucci. He could be sitting back there just, letting that 73 build his confidence.
I'm glad you talked about it, because Rucci is a driver. We know 100% that this guy right here in the 28 car, he knows how to save tires. He's beat you guys so many times on separate races based on tires. Right now, he's trying to keep his nose right there to the back of the 73 to make him run out of his tires, because he knows if I just keep that pressure applied to him, he's driving the car harder than I have to. He's definitely going to be exit speed a lot more aggressive than he is, spinning those tires, burning them up. And this is where Rucci really, really comes into play. He's a long run player. He knows how long it takes for these tires to start to fall off. But the 73 Benende is out front. Now, what does it feel like when you're in the front, Bugs, and you're leading a race? That electric feeling you're having a little bit of adrenaline hit you. How hard is it to keep off the car behind you that's right there? We're talking less than a half a second behind.
It is. It's a mental game. It really is. I mean, everything in your body is going. Your heart is pounding. Your hands are sweating. You're very, very focused, and it takes a lot of mental capacity to keep your mind focused on just hitting your marks, lap after lap, and not making a mistake. Because one mistake, and that driver's past you, and then you're spending the rest of that race trying to get past that driver again. And it's hard to get past on road courses, especially in these cars.
There you have it. They're up in the S's right now. Ryan, all 3 of us have actually done some racing here, some endurance racing, and we're talking about Watkins Glen as a whole. It doesn't matter what car you bring here to Watkins Glen. Is it a special track to you, 1, but 2, how hard is it to actually, wrangle in what this track is capable of?
I love this track. I really love this track. I think it's definitely a technical track. You have to, there's a lot of some really tricky corners. Just a few things you gotta master to actually get a handle on this track. But once you do, you can just, keep getting your lap times better and better. I think almost every driver that races this track has a corner that they just can't figure out. I know Bugs was like that. I know I was like that when we did our endurance racing. There's just, I think my last corner was the second to last corner. I could not nail it every time. And then coming out of the, when you were doing the extended track. But yeah, there's just certain corners on this track that you like, no matter what you do, you might not just be able to figure out, or it just takes a little more time. And I think, this race is going to come down to who can string all their corners together to get, those great lap times. But one driver I was going to mention, that we should be watching out for, actually two of them are definitely, like, don't count out Graham or Macedo. Macedo is easily one of our fastest drivers on the Rumble Butts endurance team. He is a very fast driver, very consistent driver, a lot of talent there. So don't count Graham or Macedo out, because I still think, in an instant, and you guys know this from doing endurance racing, you can throw your whole race away by missing one corner here. Like if you go a little too hot into that bus stop, there goes your race. So it's gonna be a mental game, but it's also gonna be how they can handle these cars on the long run, like you said, Jeff.
Absolutely. We're seeing exactly that. This battle right here between the 88 of Wes Graham and the 28 of Rucci coming out of the last corner there all the way down the front stretch. Here comes the braking zone right now. And Wes was talking about, hey, I need to get out front. I need to get some pull on these guys. But how difficult is it when these guys like Graham, Rucci, and Benende are pretty much on the same token as far as talent goes. And these guys are all able to get around this road course no problem. But out front, Stefan Benende still trying to hold off Rucci. I think Rucci's just kind of playing with him, but they're coming upon left traffic here. And they missed the bus stop.
Stefan's on Rumble Butts too, isn't he? That's Stefan from Rumble. Yeah,
yep. Stefan is also on Rumble Butts.
Very fast, very fast.
Yes, Stefan is very fast. Absolutely, but
this does not surprise me. He's leading right now.
Watching Guzman, he just blew the whole stop there, the bus stop. Had to come to a complete stop to let that position go, and now he's on the apron on the outside of the carousel, and he's got a lot of damage to the right side of that car. He was the one that was a lap behind, but out front still, Stefan Benende trying to hold off Rucci.
Rucci has definitely closed that gap on Stefan. I've been watching, and Stefan looks like he might be struggling with that car a little bit. Looks like the tires might be starting to go a little bit for him. So I think Rucci is just playing the long game here. I think he's just sitting back, and he's just going to put the pressure on, and he's just going to let Stefan make a mistake, and he's going to drive right by.
And you see the 73 there really getting hard in the brakes, and you can see that brake low as they get down into turn one there up into the S's now. With the 28 of Rucci just kind of playing his cards right. Let's ride on board with him and try to feel out what he's doing here. 9,300 RPM, 94. Now we talk about backing the corner up. It's called rolling out the gas early like he just did right here and then getting in the brakes. Now, normally you would probably brake around the 200 mark. You see back there, it was about around the 300. That's when Rucci's starting to roll out of the gas and then apply that brake. He has to go in and do it a lot easier. When you do that, it actually saves your tires.
Yeah, definitely. Just by pushing that braking point back, you're just a little less stress on the tires and the car as a whole. And yeah, you're going to preserve the life of those tires a lot longer instead of just, not dive bombing, but instead of just going in super hard. So also, you can tell. Sorry, go ahead, Bugs.
I was just going to say, it also gives you a great opportunity to get that really fast exit speed. Sometimes, slow in, fast out is what a lot of guys don't expect. They expect fast in, slow out. So it's a good chance to change it up.
Yeah, I like to go fast in, fast out.
Yeah, well,
there you go. Well, hey, I'm not gonna take a break because it's a green flag run right now. I'm gonna hit the restroom real quick. I'll let you guys have at her, and I'll be right back.
All right. Let's ruin this broadcast.
We have no camera control.
Nope.
So if anything else happens, we'll just let you know.
Yeah.
Otterero. Oh, looks like Steinhoff's actually holding off Otterero here for P5. We'll show you that in a minute.
Look at this, though. Rucci's passing Benende.
Rucci.
Oh, my goodness. Rucci, you're ready.
Making a move.
made a move. What did I tell you? They fucked up. Excuse me. They messed up on the bus stop there, Benende.
Yeah.
And Rucci takes advantage of that, but he ain't going anywhere, and he's going to put pressure right on Rucci there.
I mean,
crazy.
We've been talking about it all night. You know, mistakes, you can throw your own race away off of one mistake. So it'll be interesting to see with Rucci in the lead, how he's going to hold himself. I mean, we know Rucci to be extremely consistent, but I mean, I wouldn't count Stefan out. You know, we haven't pitted yet.
God, no.
We haven't pitted, and Stefan is looking. He's already looking at the inside of Rucci, so Stefan wants that spot back.
Yeah, they're this race ain't over. This is going to be. I think this is going to go right till the end. These two drivers, they're going to go back and forth quite a bit. So we'll see. I think Rucci can definitely handle the pressure of being in first. Heck, he's been in first in a lot of these races. But yeah, Stefan is not a driver to back down by any means, so he'll be right up there with them. But great pass there by Rucci.
Yeah, great pass. We got to keep an eye on pit strategy as well, because you know we might see Stefan trying to do an undercut, come in a little early, get some fresh rubber, try to put down some quick laps. But I mean, you know, when we're looking at these two drivers drive right now, I'm noticing Stefan's car is looking a little loose. So
Of course, I walk away right when we had a lead change there. Rucci finally took Benende.
Yep.
Yeah, he did. It was Benende went a little hot into the bus stop there, I believe, and ran wide, and Rucci pounced on it.
And that's what it comes down to. You know, you can't make a mistake here at Watkins Glen. When you make that mistake, somebody's going to capitalize on it. They have to run a perfect race. So Rucci has to run a perfect race. Benende has to run a perfect race. And then Wes Graham back here, don't count him out. You know, he's in third position. He's not too far behind. 2.7 seconds behind the leader. That's really not that bad here at Watkins Glen.
No, I think another person that needs to drive a perfect race right now is Ryan Steinhoff, looking like he's fighting off Favignano for P5 right now. Very close to each other. Favignano has been chomping at the bits for the last 2 laps, it looks like.
Yeah, he has. He's right there on the back bumper of Steinhoff. Steinhoff, let's see how they make into the bus stop here. Out of the back of Steinhoff's car, watch Favignano in his braking zone. Looks to be pretty even. I think Steinhoff's getting there a little more hot than the 67 is.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Favignano's looking to come in and blow out those birthday candles on Ryan Steinhoff's party here. Just a quick little, no you don't. We'll see if he can do it.
Oh, we got a very close battle in the back between P9, 10, and 11, and 12, it looks like, between Robert Webb, Aaron Beaver, Clint Spells, and Chris Essery.
And that's Aaron Beaver right there, and then you've got Charles Gray behind them in the 13th position trying to take Robert Webb, a driver that we haven't seen for a while. Came over from the Thursday League and says, hey, I can run with the Monday guys, and he's showing himself right now in the 12th position, rightfully so. And it comes down to every time you come to a road course, you have guys going, hey, this is a road course. You have the road course drivers and you have your oval drivers. What is really the difference between those two?
Right turns.
Get out of here.
Actually having to make a right turn. You're not wrong about that, actually.
Right turn. I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people get ingrained with how these cars feel turning on an oval, and then they come out to a road course, and it's not anything like any other type of road course car. It's not a GT3. It's nothing close. So I think a lot of drivers just get caught out with how this car acts on a road course.
We're going to ride on board with Charles Gray here and see what he's seeing right now as he is diving into that bus stop. You have a car off into the grass.
Car wide. I think that's Aaron Beaver. No, that's Clint Spells.
Yeah, Clint Spells is showing off the track right now. We're trying to get a hold of him. Yeah, I think he
just towed.
Yeah, he just towed straight into it. I think he might have hit the barrier there.
But yeah, Charles Gray looking to make some spots for sure. I mean, he's been climbing back from P27 already up to P12 now. Another driver, Chris Essery, in the grass.
Yeah, he's disappeared for us. There he is right there. He got in the grass before he makes that final turn onto the straightaway at the start-finish line.
For Gray this lap alone, and he's already gotten his eye on whoever's right in front of him. Who is that?
Number 91.
Yep, and he'll take that position away.
Webb. Yep, just takes that position from Robert Webb.
Yeah, Webb made a mistake there, and Chris Essery went really wide down in turn 1. He was all the way on the outside. He lost a bunch of spots there, or a lot more time, actually.
So he just gained 3 positions in about a lap and a half. So he's on the move.
Charles Gray, one of those guys that started fourth, actually. Third. I'm sorry. I screwed that up. Had an EOL penalty. We don't know why he chose to go all the way to the back or why that happened. It must have been a race control issue. But he shows himself right now in the 10th position, working his way up. He might have something for the rest of these guys. You know, it's still 40 laps here at Watkins Glen. We're on 17 right now, and we're going to be moving on to 18. There's a lot of racing left.
Speaking of race control, I would like to throw it out to Tony Wilson out there in that number 76, running the most Halloween paint I think anybody is going to run this season. Very nice Halloween paint, and he should be in the race control booth, and he's out on the track.
And what can you say about Tony Wilson? What a fantastic guy. He's always been part of the admin, like, for a long time. He may not be like 100% admin, but he's been a part of it. He paints a lot of these guys' cars, one. But two, he's always been a great driver. Every time I've raced with him, he's been clean. He's been fun to race. He started 26th, and he's now showing 18 now.
Yeah, he's a good driver. He beats himself up a lot about it, but he should give himself some credit. He's a good driver for sure, and a very nice guy.
Potter with some issues here. We're seeing if he had a drop there happen. I don't know what happened to him, but he's in P6 right now, fighting for the 5th position of Steinhoff. And it's pretty much the same out front. Matt Rucci, Benende, and Graham pretty much even as far as that goes. But check it out. Who is this? That's not the Isaiah Stevens I'm looking for right now. That's the guy that's in that car. I don't know why it's not popping up. I was looking for Hilton. I don't know who's in the 4th position right now. I think they might have been going down a lap there. My fault.
That's okay.
I made a mistake.
Yep, that's James Hilton. Yep, he's running 21st.
Okay, yeah, I think he just got lapped, right?
He just went a lap down.
Okay, yeah, that's who I saw in the front stretch. I was like, who's this back here? A lot of damage with that car. He needs to come down pit road and get his fast repairs. Now let's talk about fast repairs. You know, this is something that is very unique to iRacing, very unique to sim racing in a general sense, but how important is that fast repair to you?
Oh, that fast repair is everything. I mean, that fast repair is a second chance. You know, you can have an incident in the early on part of the race, and you can get that fast repair, and you're still in it. You know, you can come back out and give it another shot. So a lot of people protect their fast repairs quite a bit during these events, and I totally understand why, because you never know what's going to happen.
Wes Graham on pit road trying to figure out what's going on with that. He's down pit road. Maybe an early position here because we're coming on lap 20 halfway. Is he going to come down pit road, get 4 tires and fuel, and just try to be ahead of everybody else?
Little undercut.
Yeah, strategy call here.
I'm kind of surprised that the leaders have not come in already, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, 19 laps at Watkins Glen is very different than 20 laps at Charlotte. And
yes.
What's the difference in that? Is this how you can control your corner exit?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, it's just the track surface, really. I mean, Watkins is nice and wide. You have a lot of runoff room compared to something like Charlotte, where, especially the Roval, you're very tight on that. You have to be very precise. So, I mean, you can stretch tires a little bit here, but I mean, 15, 20 laps is really kind of getting to the point where, yeah, you're going to start sacrificing a lot of time. So it's going to be interesting to see, especially between P1 and P2, who's going to come down.
Oh, we have some guys coming down pit road here. Benende on pit road.
There we go.
That's who it was. Yeah, I was like, what's the update on Benende? He's going to come down to pit road soon.
And this is smart because Benende could come down, have a flawless pit stop, get back out there. How hard is it for a driver that starts in, say, the top 3, and you don't come down pit road enough to where your tires start to fall off or you're starting to lose that time? How crucial is it to nail this pit stop? Because Benende could win this race off of this stop alone.
Absolutely, yeah. The pit stops are crucial. You have to you have to attack that pit entrance. You have to make sure you don't speed. You got to limit the tire spin on exit, and you really got to hit that lap that you come in and the lap that you come out really hard to make up a lot of time. And that's sketchy to do because you're going from your oldest wear on your tires to brand new ice tires. So it's a very hard thing to do, but you have to do it if you want to extend that gap or even take a lead like Benende might do.
And you're seeing this right here. Benende just came out of the pits, and look at how much faster he is than Chris Essery. That gave him that position, but look, he can't even hold a candle to the speed that the 73 is holding right now.
Oh, he's pushing it. He is pushing it for sure. He's attacking that bus stop really hard. He's trying to close this gap. This Aaron Beaver is definitely gonna. Oh, there we go. He's gonna.
Yeah.
Yep, he's going around. That's that new to old tire comparison right there.
Dylan Macedo on pit road.
A lot of our drivers like Aaron Beaver, they know when there's a faster car coming out of pits and they got fresh tires, and they know like not to hold them up. So good move there by Beaver.
Oh, Chris Essery going wide.
Yeah, Rucci's playing the long run here, but Macedo is on pit road, and so is Fodorero. This is such an important stop for them. But if you're Rucci, you have to try to gain as much as you can, but you can also make crucial mistakes on pit road.
Graham is looking like he gained some time on Benende here. So we got them pretty close to each other again. Something that West definitely needs.
Yeah, as things cycle out here on the pit road strategy, which I think it's just going to be one stop today. You're going to see one guy come down on pit road, get 4 tires and fuel, and you can see another guy that's going to go, hey, should you take 2 here? I don't think so. I think 2 is going to hurt you more than it will help you.
Rucci coming into pits right now. Rucci's into pits.
It's going to be interesting to see where he cycles out after this pit. We saw some drivers out there not pitting. Charles Gray still out there. Nick Sargent, Isaiah Stevens still yet to pit.
And those guys are just trying to lead laps here.
Yeah.
Let's see what
Rucci
Rucci does.
Where he pops out. This will be really close if he see where is our current or where Benende is.
We got Benende going onto the front straight right now.
And here's Rucci taking those right sides.
Are we watching F1 right now? It's just a Verstappen Hamilton exit out the pit lanes. This is awesome.
There's Benende right there. Here he comes.
Steffen's gonna get it.
Look at this.
I think he's gonna get
battle between the two, and now he's gonna have to really drive. But man, Rucci is so strong, even out of the pits like that.
Let's see though. Steffen's got a little bit of heat in those tires, and Rucci's coming out on those fresh, cold ones.
Yeah, he can't make a mistake down the bus stop.
This is the lap for Benende to catch up because Rucci's still on cold tires, so he's got pace on him. So he's got to try and make a move here in the next couple laps, see if he can get right up on that bumper.
The Facebook dad started on the pole, finds himself in the 3rd position right now. He's actually 2nd because Isaiah Stevens still hasn't come down pit road. He's holding out for a little bit longer.
Right in front of Rucci. We got Isaiah Stevens right in front of Rucci, slowing him down.
This look from the blimp right here.
Look at that gap Benende just closed on Rucci because of it.
Watch Isaiah Stevens, which is going to give up the lead there. He has to come down pit road this time.
Ooh, you should have seen that save by Benende there. He drifted that thing. What great car control, and he's right up on him.
Oh,
wow.
Now we got a race.
And Stevens on pit road right now. He's going to get 4 tires and some fuel. But right now it comes down to Rucci and Benende, how well they're able to manage lap traffic. And now we're on green flag stop, so it might cause a little bit of issue as far as Rucci catching another guy in front of him and how hard it is to pass them, because like we've talked about before, we've done endurance racing here. It takes one mistake for the driver in front of you to kind of screw up, and there is traffic in front of Rucci.
Yeah, this traffic's going to come into play here quite a bit as people are cycling in and out of the pits, making their pit stops, and you got slower cars in the back that are having some difficult times here at the road track. So this is going to get interesting. And but I don't know, man. Matt Rucci is quite the robot we've seen. We don't see many mistakes from him, and I hope I'm not doing the commentator's curse, knock on wood. Or maybe I am. Maybe I am doing the commentator's curse. But that man is a robot. So I think if Benende's hoping for some other factors to come into play, lap traffic being one of them.
I do apologize for the frame drops we're having tonight on the stream. That is an iRacing deal. It's been happening for the last 3 weeks. I do apologize for that. That's James Hilton there in the 17th position, about to give that up to the 28, but he can hold him up here in the S's.
Oh, you know Stefan wants this completely. Stefan is asking for this right now.
Are we sure it's an iRacing deal, Jeff, or is it your Pentium 3 processor?
No, it literally is an iRacing problem. I don't know why it's only iRacing and just starts dropping.
I better contact Jet Pilot Systems, whatever the hell they're called, and get a new computer.
Jetline Systems?
Jetline Systems. Same
Which
thing.
is a sponsor of mine, but I don't push it here on the broadcast. They're fantastic.
They are fantastic.
Well, you just did.
But I just did.
I kind of slammed their computer. Sorry.
How dare you, sir?
You know what? I don't have to risk a Jetline sponsorship because I don't.
You know what? I'm going to throw a spot here because we're under green flag. But hey, let's talk about it here. And Reno's about to go down a lap by the 28 of Rucci. Are you not happy with your current soap products? Star Symphony makes handmade soap with all natural ingredients. They even send the recipe so you can make it yourself at home. Star Symphony now with a limited run of the Halloween bar. Sends it with the vanilla and spices, perfect for fall and Halloween. Type in chat !stars to find out more information about those products. And I can tell you here on the 31st, it is my wedding anniversary and it's also Halloween, but I have a collab happening with Star Symphony. The Galaxy Scent is being launched. I put a lot of time into figuring out what the Galaxy Scent would be, and I'm really, really happy with it right now. And the first 8 bars will have a white logo on those bars of soap. So look at that on the 31st coming out for Star Symphony.
Your armpit's gonna smell like the stars. I love it.
Oh, like the stars.
That's awesome.
No, I'm really excited for it. We've been working on this really, really closely. And I had a lot to say. I was like, hey, I want to have this scent. And then we got it to the point where it's like, it's the perfect scent for me. Like I was using probably, I don't know, 3 different scents before it. And this is my go-to now. I'm like, I'm actually going through our prototype product right now because I'm like, I really love the scent of it. So on the 31st, I will be launching that with Star Symphony. Very excited. Nicole, my lovely wife and partner, is making it an amazing thing here with Star Symphony. So go check it out. There's a lot there for everybody. And we're under green flag right now, 26 laps into this, past the halfway point. Now, Bugs, say hey, you're running in third. You're Graham right now, headspace-wise. What are you going to do here to make your race turn around for you?
Oh, I don't really know. With Graham being where he's at, with the gap that he has to Stefan and Rucci, I think with there only being 4 laps, or actually, no, we have quite a bit more. We're doing 40. We're not doing 30. You know, I don't know. I'd really just buckle down and just try to hit my marks as much as possible and just hope that something happens up there to where they get slowed down enough or both of them make a mistake or get into each other or something, anything to give a slight, you know, advantage on closing that gap. But I mean, I can't see what the numbers are for that gap right now, but it, you know, he's got some work to do.
So we're watching Wes Graham right now coming out of the final turn here. And then that is the gap all the way to Benende, which is mid-pack. But look at Rucci. He has his hands full. Benende's right there on the back bumper. That's not changing anytime soon.
Yeah, he's right there, but also remember, I mean, we were, which lap was it? About 15, 16, where, you know, Stefan got loose in the bus stop with those older tires. So he's fighting hard now, but I hope he just doesn't burn his stuff up and gives Rucci a good run for the money at the end of the race.
Benende is giving it all she's got, Captain, because we saw him sideways in the S's. Sideways coming off the corner. He's challenging here into the bus stop right now. I think he's in Rucci's seat now. Do you push Rucci, try to make him burn his stuff up? And does Benende have the talent for it?
He has to, because he's going to have worse tires come the end of the race. He's going to be going longer on those tires than Rucci is. He tried to play the undercut, but it did not work. The undercut works if you can get out in front of him and hold that position. It didn't work. So he is trying everything right now to put pressure on Rucci, to try and force a mistake out of Rucci, because he will not be able to do it.
What's hard on an iRacer like this is knowing you don't have a full caution, you know, Hail Mary to throw. It comes down to your talent. But also, Benende needs Rucci to make a mistake. Whether it be, you know, upcoming lap traffic through the S's, maybe you got a little more looser than I did, and it will give you up those 0.2 of a second. That means a lot to this driver that's in the second position. that showed up today, the fastest in practice, the fastest on the track. We know if he has good tires, he can win this race.
I want to point out another close battle going on for P6 right now between Charles Gray and Ryan Steinhoff. Charles Gray definitely on the move and challenging Ryan Steinhoff for that P6 position. So it's going to be interesting to see if Steinhoff can hold off Gray.
I think he's going to have his hands full for sure, but we're going to watch here as the 87 and the 59 try to figure it out. And after the fact, when we talk to the drivers in the drivers meeting, I want to know what happened with Gray. Why did he get the EOL penalty? Why did he fall to the back?
Yeah, that's going to be, I mean, that has changed his whole race. He qualified P3, had a good time, so it's going to be interesting to see what happened there. But, I mean, as of right now, you know, top 10 after that, that's very commendable. So let's see if he can work on a couple more positions. Unfortunately, once he passes, if he passes Steinhoff, it looks like the gap to P5 is quite a bit with Favignano kind of on an island right now, really.
Yeah, he is,
Yeah.
and that was going by Cleveland there. I wanted to talk about the 59 of Steinhoff, and you can see there's Cypher, twitch.tv/Cypher, and there's some numbers after it. I'm trying to figure out what those actually are, so if you want to go watch that onboard camera, you surely can.
28-28.
2828. So Cypher 2828 here on Twitch. If you want to see his onboard camera and what he's got going on in his cockpit. I know a lot of drivers out here actually do stream these races. Sorry, Ren.
No, I was just gonna say, I was gonna ask Chad if you guys, because I was.
Benende took the lead. What? No. I'm sorry.
Okay, you can't just give me a heart attack.
I know the timing screen just told me he took the lead for what weird reason that was. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say there's a lot of drivers streaming this right now, so if you are watching any of those other drivers and you have any information on why Chuck got the EOL, feel free to type in chat and let us know because we don't know right now. But he is driving a great race up there to get himself up to, what is he now? P7. That's crazy. From 27th to 7th is nuts.
Yeah, he is the one to watch today for sure.
10 to go here at Watkins Glen. 30 of 40 laps have been completed. Let's go through the field a little bit here. Matt Rucci out front. Been the man of the hour as far as, you know, overcoming the 73 of Benende's speed today with a pit strategy and making a better pit stop than Benende did. Benende, you know, unloading. Fast in practice. Fastest in qualifying. Got the pole position here. What an incredible run he had. And then all the way back to the third position, which is Wes Graham in the 88. Ryan, what's going on with the fourth and Dylan Macedo?
Well, just sorry not to update on Macedo. Just we got an update from Chad here about Charles Gray. Apparently, he did his lap qualifying time late. He did it during the drivers' meeting after the allotted time, so that was why he got the EOL there. So that's just update for the Gray camp.
I got you. So Dylan Macedo's right now in fourth, and in fifth is Favignano, and he's going around lap traffic there of James Hilton. But behind Favignano is Ryan Steinhoff, the birthday boy. He's got his hands full right now with the 87.
Oh, yeah. Charles Gray is challenging him for that position, has been for the last 2 laps, but it looks like Charles is having a bit of an issue making the actual pass. Steinhoff has been good with holding him back.
Steinhoff's got that sweet hairdo and a goatee. He is the GOAT, and he's like, hey, you know, I'm the GOAT, but this is the actual GOAT. Not this. Not what I'm doing right now. It's my birthday, bitch.
Oh, there's some action on the bus stop as Ryan Potter gets wide, and they went too wide into that bus stop.
Steinhoff wide on corner 1. Charles Gray looking like he's going to take it on the inside, going up into the S's.
Side by side.
He's not going to give it up.
Oh, this is going to be all the way down that
This
long
is
stretch.
Be a drag race.
Oh, this is some good racing, boys.
Oh, now it comes down to who's going to commit more on the brakes into this bus stop.
Oh, it's like chicken. It's a game of chicken. Who's going to brake late? Who's going to let off?
Oh, they make contact! Gray hit.
Steinhoff around.
Oh, Steinhoff around. And Gray. That is such a difficult spot to make a pass happen. And those two got together. I'm going to back it up here. We're going to find out what exactly happened. We're under green. I'm sorry for that, but I do want to see what actually took place here. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be the chopper camp's going to figure this one out. 87 to Gray on the inside. slow. He's in the grass even. That might have been the 87's problem. He just got in there a little too hot.
What it looks like from my perspective is he comes in really hot and tight in that first turn, and he gets a little loose hitting those bumps, and he comes up and he shuffles up a little bit as both of them are heading into that bus stop. So I think he got a little upset there, lost a slight bit of control of the car, and then just caused that little tap, and then that's all you need.
He had no room though. Like watch when he was entering that first corner, he was up against the wall off the track. He had no room. Not to say he was pushed out there, but I don't put the blame on Charles Gray there. I think that was a racing incident.
Absolutely.
He had absolutely nowhere to go, and you can't just stab the brakes when you're on a turf. So just a racing incident there. Good hard racing by those two, and hopefully Steinhoff can get some positions back.
I have to agree 100% there. That is a racing incident. And you saw that Gray had his right side tires in the grass. Would you throw Gray on the bus and say, hey, you're in the grass, man. I have the racing line. What are you doing? It is up to Gray to slow down to give him that position. But I think it's just two guys racing really hard down into the bus stop.
Oh, absolutely. None of those drivers wanted to give up that position. It was going to be a drag race and a game of chicken on the brakes. And I think just both of them going in hard. You could tell it looked like they were trying to give each other a bit of space, or, Charles definitely was. Ryan was coming in, defending that position. And I mean, it just comes out to a racing incident. They just got a little bit of loose, being really close, hard racing, and just a little tap is all it takes to spin these cars around.
Yeah, two very clean racers. That would never usually do anything intentional like that, and like to intentionally pit somebody or push them out of the way. So that was really exciting racing, though. That was awesome to see the drag race down the front stretch, and yeah. But let's check in with our leaders there, Jeff. How's Rucci and Benende doing?
They were doing really good. I'm watching Steinhoff right now. Just to let everybody know, after that little spin, that little incident they had in the bus stop, he is in P10 right now. So still showing the top 10. He's holding his own.
He's working on Robert Webb right now for P9, so don't count him out. He's got some positions he's going to try to get back for sure.
Absolutely. Look at the back bumper of Robert Webb trying to hold off Steinhoff after having that incident with Charles. But he is right here in the mix, hanging on to it. And Charles Gray up to 6th. Incredible run by that driver. I mean, let's talk about Charles Gray. I mean, we've seen him start in 3rd, fall all the way to the back after a bad qualifying run, and now he's all the way in the P6 position. But out front, Matt Rucci is the man that's trying to hold off Stefan Benende. It could take just one mistake that could throw this whole race away.
Yeah, shout out to the drivers in the back of the field for being able to get out of the way and allow them to make some passes here. So that's to not screw up the leaders race. I've been watching them, and a lot of courteous driving there by our lap cars. But just like that, speaking of lap cars, we got Rick Evans ahead of Rucci here, and hopefully Rucci can make a pass. Yeah, Evans goes down to the bottom there, and he'll let him by.
I really like the look of Rick Evans' car there in the 70 car.
Oh,
that's a good looking car. He's missing a hood, but the side looks really nice. I love the gold Chevrolet on there, the Napa Auto Parts.
It does look good.
The matte black.
His liveries last couple weeks, the America liveries with the chrome and the rock flag and eagle, baby. Let's go America.
I had a chance to meet this man in person, and he's a fantastic guy, just a very, very nice guy, and he had nothing but nice things to say about OCRP and the iRacing League as a total, as a whole, and really good to see him out there. I know he's had a rough night tonight, but what a good-looking car. What can you say?
Man, it'd be so cool one day to do a meet with all the guys and somewhere. And
sorry about this. iRacing's losing its mind right now, dropping just a ton of frames, eating up the broadcast as per usual. Thank you, iRacing. I know it takes a lot of horsepower under the hood on this PC to try to make these graphics happen. Somebody is really slow here. Joel Brown, and also then there's Weber really slow.
That was close.
That was super close. Sorry, that was Cleveland we grabbed a hold of there. But yeah, it was really slow there. And that shows, somebody can make a real bad mistake in front of you, and you have to overcome that. And 36 laps completed of 40. We're getting close to the end here.
Yeah, it looks like Rucci is really managing that traffic very well. He's not letting it hold him up, even a spin in front of him, and it doesn't look like that gave Benende closure on that gap. If anything, I think it's made it worse. Benende is currently dealing with lap traffic himself.
So, Bugs, let's put you into the hot seat, okay? Let's give you the 73's car, Stefan Benende. You have to beat not only the guys that are down a lap, but now you have to beat the leader. And it's 36 of 40. In your brain right now, what are you thinking?
I mean, what's his gap currently to him? How far back is Benende?
4 seconds. Almost 5
seconds back. Almost 5 seconds with 4 laps to go. I mean, honestly,
on a road
if it was
course,
me,
naturally.
On a road course, I would just back her down. I would honestly back her down. I don't think I would be able to close that 5-second gap in that short amount of time unless everything were to go perfectly for me and everything go horribly for whoever I'm trying to catch. But yeah, for me, I would just hold tight. I would say, you know what, P2, I ran a strong race. I was quick all race, but I just, you can't hold off the Rucci bot.
But how much of a heartbreaker is it for you to be fastest in practice, fastest in qualifying and taking the pole, running away with the race early on and losing it on pit road? How much of a heartbreaker is that for people to understand?
It's the worst. It is the worst because you go out there with your confidence high and you say, you know what, this is my race. This is the one for me to lose. And then when it comes out at the end of it that you did lose it, it's really hard. Ooh, Benende getting loose into the bus stop, into the grass.
Yeah, and he's leaving that position up to those two guys. But go ahead, Ryan.
No, Bugs, real quick question here, Bugs. And
he's laughing while he says it. I know what it's going to be.
Is it worse than, being first and losing positions, yada, yada, yada? Or is it worse to be parked during the race?
I think on this track specifically, I would say it's worse to be parked because I picked this track to race at. But yeah, there's the mental battle of running such a fast race, all race, practice, qualify, and to have a great battle for P1 and to not get it. I would say that in some ways is worse.
Rucci a little loose there off of turn 1, but I will say, I mean, being as cliche and media as possible here. If you were in a car right now, based on the practice laps you put at Watkins Glen in this car, where do you think you'd be running right now?
Wow.
It's a rough one, I know.
I think I would be giving Benende a good race for his money. I mean, we just had a good race in the Outcast League on Tuesday in the trucks at Canadian Tire. And we had a great battle back and forth. So I think I'd be giving him a run for his money. Rucci, though, I know I can make a mistake just like everybody else can on road courses. And I have yet to see Rucci make a mistake in this race. So I think it would have been my race to lose as well.
And Rucci's way out front right now, coming off the last corner to the front stretch right now, going to be completing lap 38, 39 now. It's not 1 to go, it's 2 to go here, but it's going to come down to just it's Rucci's race to lose. I mean, he could lock him up and just screw it up in the bus stop. It would change up everything. And Ende's not that far back, but now he's almost 8 seconds back. I think this just comes down to talent and who can really kind of not lasso, I guess would be the word, this track.
I think it comes down to programming. I think Rucci's programming does not allow him to make mistakes. I don't think he's going to do it. This whole race, he had, plenty of opportunities to make mistakes, especially with Stefan putting the heat on him, and he has not made a single one. Now with such a big gap, 8-second gap, for him, just take her easy. It's gonna
be really hard to talk to Benende after this because I know this is the heartbreaker for him. I mean, what an incredible run he's had, and he's shown speed all week. But Graham even had a lot of confidence going in this race. 14 seconds behind the leader right now, incredibly behind the leader. But what can you talk about Rucci? I mean, you've raced with the dude. He's incredible. White flag in the air, and this is sponsored. One to go by sponsored by Thrustmaster. My fault.
White flag in the air for Rucci. Rucci bot not a tire out of place so far. Let's see if he can do it one more lap. He's got a nice lead on Benende, and he's even got a little bit of cushion there in case he does make a mistake. But he's just gonna coast this thing in, I think. And just real quick, before people get mad about my little comment to Bugs, we're friends. It's something called playful banter. We do that from time to time. We joke to
What
each
does
other
that
a lot.
mean? It means you're being bullied.
So
I'm so glad you're
so
being bullied during the
YouTube
iRacing race.
put your pitchforks down. Don't
Oh,
come
no.
for me. It's a joke.
Oh no.
Oh no,
Oh
no, no,
no, no, no,
Oh,
no,
I hate it.
Rucci's gonna possibly win it here. He's only got a couple out there, a couple corners to go.
I like to broadcast OCRP iRacing with my friends Jeff and Bugs.
Rucci. Okay, yes, I will take that position away from you. Thank you. Okay, we're done with the TikTokers. There you go. Rucci's gonna win it here at Watkins, Glen. Who would have thought it? And what an incredible race by Rucci. All about hitting those marks, being clean. Bugs, how important is that at a road course?
Oh, it's everything. I mean, as we saw with Benende, he had the lead and he lost it with a little mistake, and that's all it takes. It's just road course racing is such a difficult thing. When you can make up so much time on a bad lap in the same lap, you can also lose so much by just a simple overdriving the car. So yeah, it's extremely important, and Rucci showed it here tonight with just being extremely consistent, and having that pace it paid off.
I gotta say real quick, Jeff, that I think the driver of the race for me though is got to be Charles Gray in that
Absolutely.
87 car. He finished P6, started
Absolutely.
P27. What a hell of a drive by the man in the high vis vest. Great
You
work
know what?
there,
I
Chuck.
really screwed up tonight. I'm sorry. I called it the Marty Party 150. It is the upstate race at the Glen. I was an idiot because the Marty Party is actually Martinsville, which we're moving into next week. And Bugs, you will be racing at Martinsville. I'm sorry about that.
Unfortunately, yes.
Marty, I was wondering like who the
I don't know. I don't know.
I was just like, I don't know what that means.
You should have said something because I didn't understand it. But yeah, this is the
Scuffed broadcast continued.
that was my fault. Yeah, this is the upstate race to the Glen. I'm sorry about that. But the Marty
Can we
Party's
call
next
every
week.
race the Marty Party. I want
We
every
should.
race now is the
Every
Marty
race is the
Party
Marty
200.
Party.
Well, he's got the 28th on there, which is weird because today is October 28th,
That is strange.
and he's going to take the win here tonight.
Oh, he's burning down right now. Well, I'm excited to get to the drivers meeting and get some interviews here going.
I am too. I mean, what an incredible race by that guy.
Unfortunately, Bugs won't be able to talk because they have muted his access into this Discord until he
Yeah.
You're not an asshole.
Actually, you know what? I want to put a mic in front of him, and I want him to go down into the trenches. I want to talk to some drivers.
Oh,
You know-
I got a driver I want to talk to. Absolutely.
Okay, good. You know, I mean, we talked about Rucci, but another driver we have to talk about, we didn't talk about earlier, is Jason Lance. You know, he got moved to the to the Monday night, and he's back on Thursday, and he held his own. He did pretty darn good here tonight, hanging in there for a P13 finish. But yeah, we have a lot of other drivers to talk to. 100%. That is the Glen for you. That's what she's all about. What an incredible run. We're gonna get some driver interviews here in just a few. We have to do the classic reverse Rucci's burnout because Rucci's
I'm gonna use
Rucci
the restroom.
and use the restroom. We'll be right back, folks, in just a few minutes for drivers interviews. Stay tuned.
broadcast is here.
All right, what an incredible night of racing. We're going to catch up to the man of the hour. Needs no introduction, Matt Rucci. What an incredible momentum you've had out of Indianapolis. You came here and you weren't the fastest in qualifying and came down to Benende, but how important was that pit stop?
Yeah, I mean, Stefan was really quick. I know he's a good road course driver, so I knew he was going to be fast today. He made a mistake in the bus stop, which gave me the lead, and then I was able to pull away a little bit. So I had a gap, so I pit a few laps later, just to have the fresher tires in the second run, and near the end.
Cutting out a few times there. We're going to let you gather up your internet and continue on. But yeah, you came down pit road and it came down to making that perfect stop. How much pressure was it on you, knowing as you're leading the points behind, Favignano, to come down pit road and make that perfect stop?
I had a gap, so I was just hit my marks. Don't speed, don't overshoot my box, and I pit a few laps later, which gave me some fresher tires.
I think the only thing that we can ever give you anything, any crap for would be that you still have not submitted a driver photo. But outside of that, what an incredible run. You've been so dominant this season. And we're going to catch up to Menendez. Stefan, I know you're the Facebook dad, as Ryan calls you, and we have been recently, but of the group. And what an incredible run. You were fastest in practice. You had an incredible qualifying run. You had your first pole of the season. How did your race go as far as trying to maintain that gap with Rucci?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Thanks. Hats off to him. I mean, I made a mistake, and that all it takes with a guy like that is to make a small mistake, and you're screwed. So, but yeah, we just came in, pitted, I think a lap earlier than him, and we came out, and he came out just ahead of us one lap later, and we stuck with him for a little while, but then some lap traffic kind of got it between us, and he gapped out. But I'm disappointed, but I'm happy with the performance. I got to give a shout out to John Borst. I wouldn't be racing tonight if it weren't for him. I had my DD wheel go bad on me, and he lent me one, and I finished runner up. So thanks for that, man.
There you go. I think it'd be safe to say you weren't clowning around tonight when you were out there on track 100%. But the next driver I want to talk to would be Favignano. Leonard Favignano, you're second in points coming into this race. You knew you had to have a solid run. You had a lot of racing happening around you. How were you able to manage the traffic between you and Macedo and Gray, that started out in the third position and had his night cut out for him based on qualifying efforts? How'd your race go?
Speaking from my first time racing at the Glen, it's pretty good for what I finished at.
A top 5 at the Glen? Are you kidding me?
My first race here, so I just stayed steady with the car. Didn't want to overdrive any turns, lock up the tires, or miss a turn, because any slight mistake here will probably make you lose positions. So didn't want to do that. And then racing other people, I just wanted to try and race them as clean as I could, try to get them around as much as I could, and then just stayed pretty steady all day.
Well, we were definitely rooting for you here in the broadcast booth. I mean, what an incredible season you've had, and you're so much fun to watch race around other guys. Very, very, very considerate, and you can tell you have a lot of give and take with your racecraft. But I'm going to go ahead and give it to Civ Ryan. Ryan, who are you catching up with right now, and what happened?
Yeah, well, I'm going to catch up with the man I gave driver of the race to, Charles Gray. What's that?
Don't you steal my interview?
I already did. Why is he
He
not?
just
Admins,
did.
why is he not muted for toxicity from last week? Please mute. Thank you. Stop interrupting. This is why you're parked, okay? Because you do shit like this. Stop it. I'm talking. You can get your turn next. God, he's aggressive on the track. And he's aggressive in the interviews. Park him for the season. My God, I'm just
Agreed.
joking. Charles Gray, congratulations, man. What a hell of a race, dude. So what happened? You qualified late?
Yeah, I was dealing with the kids and just got in late. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention, and I think I missed it by, I don't know. I don't know what the time was.
Dad of the year.
Yeah. Yep. Wes started talking, and then I knew it was all over. But that was fun, man.
Dude, hell of a drive, man. You started P27. You made your way up to P6. That's bonkers, dude. Well driven. And tell us about I mean, I want to touch on it. That drag race with you and Steinhoff down to the bus stop. What was going on there?
Yeah, that was on me, man. Like, spotter came over and said 10 to go, and I'm like, all right, if I'm gonna get any more spots, I gotta go. And I got the advantage out of turn 1, and then we were side by side through the S's all the way down the back straight. And then when we started entering the bus stop, I went as far right as I could. I watched the replay, and as far as I could without hitting the wall. But because I went that far right, I hit the curb, hit the grass, and I couldn't get the car to slow down or turn, and went right into his right rear and spun him. That was totally on me. So Ryan, I'm sorry about that, man. That wasn't my intent. It was a ton of fun racing with you, and I didn't want to pass you that way, man.
Well, that makes me happy, because that means our analysis up in the booth was correct. That's exactly what I thought. You went as far as you could out to the wall, and you can't really slow the car down when you're on turf like that. So just a racing incident there. Turf, grass, sod, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, everybody was awesome. Everybody, especially the lap cars, you guys were great, man. Every time we would come up on you guys, you were more than courteous and let the guys that were racing by, that were on the lead lap or what have you. So definitely shout out to all of those guys. You did an awesome job tonight.
Right on, Chuck. Well, good racing. Yeah, we did shout out the guys on the broadcast for doing that. We noticed a lot of courteous driving out there. So good job, everybody. But I'll pass it over to Bay Area Bugs, if you can calm down and stop interrupting people here.
Well, thanks for stealing my interview, Ryan. Really appreciate that. But
what did you
another driver that we're going to talk to today, Ryan?
You can interview me too if you want, Bugs.
Get out of here.
We're going to talk to Ryan Steinhoff. I saw you out there holding off a lot of drivers and trying to make some moves tonight, and you got caught up in that little incident with Charles Gray out there. But how'd your race go? And how did that little incident affect you going from pretty much P6 all the way back there to P10? I saw you still fighting, trying to gain that P9 spot.
And he got it.
Yeah, it was good fun. That definitely wasn't the worst situation of the night. Was with him. I got the pit glitch, so I got screwed out of my top 5 spot early on. So, and then it was awesome racing with Charles, man. It was really, really good fun, and just an unfortunate incident. We're hard racing, so I'm not upset. Just watch it back next week. That's all I gotta say. But at the end, I almost had Beaver, but then went just a little too hard in the third to last corner or second last corner, and just screwed myself at the end. But regardless of that, still top 10, and I'm happy.
Awesome. That's good to hear. I'm glad you had a good race. You were looking really fast out there today, and definitely someone to watch and keep an eye on for this race. I don't think I have anybody else, Jeff.
I definitely have one more I want to talk to you, and that's Aaron Beaver. You've shown speed week after week. You've been here for so long. We were actually reminiscing the other day about our older days in the first iRacing league and moving up. And you've shown so much speed week after week. And here's another top 10. I mean, you've started mid-pack, and you've had to deal with that back there. But now you're starting to rise to the top. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, it was a good race. I mean, everyone did really well that first lap, at least, the cars I could see and stuff. And we got spread out, and we just started doing laps and, just passed a few people here and there. And then after the pit stop, we got spread out a little more, it seemed like, and I could never catch anybody in front of me. It seemed like the 91 was like behind me all evening. And so I was like doing a lot of rear view driving too. But man, it was a lot of fun. I'm just trying to get better each week, trying to figure out, how to get faster little by little.
Well, it's been a lot of fun to watch you race for sure. Keep up the efforts that you have been showing on track, because you're definitely figuring this car out. The last person I want to talk to tonight, it's got to be the 9 of Scott Barkman, as Ryan likes to call you Berkman. But Scott Berkman, Skirt Barkman.
It's
That's what it's Skirt. I'm
Berkman?
sorry, I
Yes,
screwed it.
there you
I
go.
figured it out at the end. Thank you. Started 20th, and you're finishing 12th. I know we've had some on-track incidents, not out of anything other than me being an idiot and not know how to drive a Miata, but outside of that, I mean, you had an interesting night. I mean, it's a road course starting 20th, and you're rounding out in 12th. Not the worst. How'd your night go?
Yeah, I can't complain for not really having any practice on this car or this track. I did get a lot of help, or enough help from Dylan and Stefan tonight before the race, so that did help. But yeah, just consistency. That's what you need at a road course to keep it out of the grass, and you can finish up front.
There you
That's
go.
what I try to do.
Fantastic. And you have a northern accent. Are you from the Minneapolis area?
Originally from Michigan, live in Colorado now.
Okay, there you go. Well, you're out in Colorado now, so it's legal. But up in Michigan is where it's nice and northern, and you can hear that in your voice. But an incredible run by you guys. What a great race it was. We were talking about when we started off that it was gonna be a road course. Not a whole lot to talk about. Gonna be kind of a boring night, but you guys put on an incredible show. It was a lot of fun to watch. We saw some guys that just had a bad night. And I think that a lot of that came from the bus stop. And I do want to check out one driver that moved over from the Monday Night League, and that is Mr. Jeffrey Spells in the 13 car. Sorry, you started 23rd, you finished 23rd, but how did your race go, and how difficult was it to wrestle the bus stop?
Well, I had self-inflicted wounds to start the race and forgot to uncheck tires after my second incident inside of, I think, the 6th lap of the race. So I took my second set of tires and had to run the rest of the race with one set of tires. But I actually liked the bus stop. It was the carousel that kept tying me up. But I knew I was several laps down and just tried to stay out of everybody's way as best I could.
Well, I can tell you, man, it's really good to see you here on a Monday night participating in racing. We are about to finish out the entire season. All we have left is, and I was calling tonight, I'm an idiot. I called tonight's race the Marty Party, which made no sense to anybody other than myself because I was an idiot and I didn't realize we were at the upstate race at the Glen. But we move on to Martinsville. Martinsville's going to be a total different race. We're going to go ahead and head back up to our little booth there and talk. But thank you guys very much. Oh, go ahead,
Jeff,
Ryan. You have one?
Real quick. This is an emergency. Okay.
Oh, you have to do it.
Got word. You need to go check out Holler Chat. We got word about a new contender for Flow of the Week for Joel Brown. We thought Joel Brown had a good flow. Go to Holler Chat and look out Kyle
Cleveland. The 11.
He gave you permission to show that. You need to show the world this flow.
I don't think I can.
My God, can you do that?
I don't think I can.
Okay,
Not
we'll
this.
debut. We'll figure it out for next week because my God, it is gold.
Make that picture your driver profile. We'll take that one. it's the mullet that has a mane of a horse. That's absolutely beautiful.
It's majestic.
Well, there you go. We're gonna head back down to our little spot, talk about the race. But guys, enjoy your drivers meeting. What an incredible race it was to watch, 100%. And you know what? I can't finish the night off without talking to Wes Graham. Graham, you talked about, hey, I have to come down here. I have to get out front. I have to get in that clean air and show everybody I have speed. But what was the difference between you and Benende tonight?
He drove the car pretty good. No, he's just absolutely bad fast. So is Rucci as well. Kind of tried to undercut on the pit stop and gained 3 seconds back, and just the tires being 3 laps off sequence towards the end of that run, it started to show there. But kind of set ourselves on an island. Good top 3 again. I think it's like my 5th or 6th top 3 this season. So I'm perpetually just stuck here, and didn't go off track, didn't get any X's or anything. So shout out to Tony for doing that as well. But just got to thank everybody for coming out, and just glad we had a clean race.
It's a fantastic race to watch. And the last person I want to talk to, and I know it was Graham I wanted to talk to last, but we're a little bit ahead of schedule. So the last one I want to talk to is definitely Dylan Macedo. Dylan, you showed a lot of speed tonight. You had a little bit of a battle there going on. How did your race go?
Well, I started fourth and finished fourth, so that's a positive. But the car felt pretty comfortable all night. First lap or two, I was struggling on cold tires, trying to warm them up, just trying not to make a mistake, because that can definitely ruin your race if you make a mistake. But just lost a little bit of ground in the beginning of the race, and then I caught back up and had a little bit of a battle with Wes for a couple of laps, and then around lap 15 or so, tires fell off and lost a ton of time. Came into the pits around lap 20, around the same time Wes did, maybe a lap later. Trying to get the undercut on the leaders, but didn't really gain much time because I had to take it slow into the pits. But overall, really proud of the performance tonight of my car. So we'll try again next week and have some fun.
You got Macedo right there in the running for the championship. He needs a lot of problems to happen to the top guys. But the Marty Party 150, definitely not the Marty Party 150. That's my mistake tonight. We're going to move it down to our little broadcast booth. Guys, thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate it.
All right, well, that's going to finish it out for the night. Unless you guys have anything left to say. What an incredible race that was. It was pretty awesome. That's going to do it for me.
Go ahead, Bugs.
That's going to do it for me, too. That was a good race. It was nice to see some people trying some different strategies out there with trying to keep up with those fast guys. And, yeah, I enjoyed watching. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'll just say thanks for joining us, Bugs. As much shit as I gave you, you can take it. So, I'm excited to see you back on the track next week, man.
Yep, I'll cry about it later.
Okay, I'm sure you will.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for us here tonight at the Glen. The Marty Party will be next week. I'm sorry about that, but we'll see you next time. Take care.